slowly picking up, but many homeowners are still struggling to keep their homes. The good news is there are experts ready to help with the knowledge and experience in assisting homeowners get over seemingly impossible obstacles. Please welcome attorney Jonathan Smith from Advantage Legal Group and Eric, who worked with Jonathan to not only keep his home, but to work out a much lower mortgage payment. That's good news. Welcome. Jonathan, tell us a bit about Eric's situation when he came to see you.
Yeah, good morning. Eric is a construction manager and was in that business for years. His wife is a teacher, and they raised 3 kids here in the Seattle area. In 2008, of course, the economy collapsed, and although he hung on to his job for quite a while, eventually, with no business whatsoever, pretty much everybody in that business got laid off. They were able to keep things going for a while through savings, unemployment, her, salary, etc. But with 3 kids in college and that sort of thing, eventually... Yeah,
I can't even imagine.
Yeah, this doesn't go well. Called his bank, talked to them about trying to do a modification or refi or something, but his problem was he was in an ARM. He was actually in a negative amortization ARM.
Oh, dear.
Which means that each month your principal balance is going up.
So you owe more at the base of your loan every month?
Every month, yeah. The base principal amount goes up. He also, because it was an ARM, it adjusted. And it adjusted up to 7.25%. So it was quite a high interest rate, in addition to being the negative amortization situation that he just could not get out of.
Right. How many other homeowners are in situations like this?
Thousands. Even though the economy is getting better and home prices are improving, there's still thousands of people who are struggling to get modifications done. And we are looking at a potential of approximately 6,000 plus new notices of foreclosure going out soon. The banks are gearing up currently to issue those new notices.
Are we talking about in the state?
Yeah, in Washington State. That's the estimate, that if you look at the job postings that the trustee services companies are hiring still, because we think they're gearing up, that our understanding from the inside is there's probably over 6,000 coming out. They tend to do this around the July, August time frame is when they roll them out, at least if the last 4 or 5 years are any indication.
So we might as well get ready for it. Eric,
Absolutely.
How did you find out about Advantage Legal Group, and how did they help you?
I had heard about the firm through a radio commercial, and it's about seminars that they were having.
Right. Did you attend one?
Absolutely. And there was so much more information. It was so helpful.
And what did that feel like to finally get to a point where...
Oh, incredible relief.
It's so frustrating when you're trying to work this out. You want to work it out, and you were in the worst possible situation.
At the time, I was probably I was working on my 3rd submission of documentation.
He means 3rd modification. He'd actually been declined twice previous.
And was still trying.
He was still trying. And when he attended the seminar, I talk about what we call dual tracking. This is where they're moving you down the mediation track and telling you, oh, yes, please submit your documentation. Yes, you qualify. Yes, there's no problem. Oh, it's in underwriting. Everything's wonderful. While at the same time, they're beginning the foreclosure process. So they're dual tracking you at the same time. And as he sat in the audience, he realized they'd already put the notice of default on his front door.
So he was headed that direction despite what was being discussed. So what is the one thing you would say homeowners don't really know about what they can do in these situations?
Well, the main thing is that Washington State residents don't realize that they even have this option open to them. The banks are not readily telling people about mortgage mediation. Washington State, the legislature, and our governor have given Washington State homeowners this opportunity to save their homes. It is overseen by the Washington State Department of Commerce, and the Washington State Department of Commerce estimates that 90% of those people in Washington State who could have availed themselves of this program since its inception in July of 2011, 90% have failed to do so.
Now, I hope they will. What do they have to do?
They have to contact a housing counselor or an attorney such as myself, and they need to contact us because they cannot request mortgage mediation themselves. It can only be requested on their behalf by a housing counselor or an attorney. And my understanding is that most of the housing counselors are swamped. So you really need
So you
to
gotta
get
find
with somebody
somebody.
now before this process begins. I think Eric actually met with.
I did go
Did you?
to a counselor, yes.
But you ended up with an attorney.
I just had a really bad feeling about where it was going. It was stalled out, and then, as Jonathan said, you start getting notices and things of that type.
And you realize where you're headed. So what do you cover in the free seminars when people come in?
Well, we go over the mortgage mediation process and how that works and how it can help you. Although past results are not necessarily indicative of future results, we do go over what we tend to get results-wise for people. In Eric's case, we were able to get him into a fixed mortgage. It's no longer an ARM. It's not
Good
a
for
negative
you.
amortization. It's a fixed mortgage. He's probably going to end up at a 40-year fixed at about 3.5% to 4%.
Wow.
And I believe his payment is now currently about $400 a month less than what it was. But he's
Relieved, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, very
Without
relieved.
the arm and plus the savings as well.
And we want people to be able to take advantage of this law and to keep their homes if they can and to pay for them. Thank you, Jonathan,
Absolutely.
so much.